Hey, YouTube, Imara Fawuyi here from Find Your Free channel, and we are again, we're by the water on the lovely island of St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands. And I just wanted to come to you all and to speak a little bit today about the narcissist again. Such a big topic right now. Why? Because they're everywhere. Um, so today I want to talk a little bit about the narc and the ways in which you can kind of recognize that they are in preparation to try to feed on you. Because again, the narcissists are energy vampires. So how do you know when that narcissist is needing supply, needing to leech, and is going to either create a crisis situation or is using different other manipulation tactics to try to pull compliments and praise out of you, and they do that through a variety of means, right? So let's start by talking a little bit about how to recognize when you're about to get zapped and vamped and fed on by this energy vampire, aka the narcissist. So basically, when I've noticed with all the narcs that I've encountered in my life, one, and you'll hear a lot of people talk about this, is that there's an energy, because remember, we're dealing with people who are possessed by something, and so there's an energy that comes over them. So you can kind of get a sense, even, that maybe, and a lot of times it's because something has triggered them. Remember, they're highly triggered people. So something has triggered them that they haven't expressed because they don't actually know how to communicate like normal people most of the time. And so they're holding something. Out here in the Caribbean, they call it chest vibes. They're holding something, and then it could be the most minute thing, but you could feel it, you could see it on them, you could see it in their spirit, you could see it in their energy, you could see it in their eyes. A lot of times, I don't know, for a lot of you, if you've been in an episode of narcissistic rage and you've witnessed their rage, the eyes tend to go black. The black part really gets really dark black. They have something possessing them. There's something on them. And so you can get a sense of the presence being there before, for those of you who are empaths, for those of you who are sensitive people, especially if you are, just like any kind of a medium, physical medium or anything like that, you can sense this spirit around them before they launch on you, before they start their tirade. And the narcissists that I've been around, I could always feel when the cycle was coming, because they go through their cycles of the love bombing, coming back to the devaluing, and then to just get rid of you altogether, And so when they're going through those cycles, you feel when the discard is coming, when the devaluing is coming, because you can sense it. And so you need to be, if you are in a narcissistic relationship or interaction with family or whatever, it's good to be kind of very hyper aware of the sense of this entity coming over them, because that's a good time for you to, kind of make a plan for yourself, whether it is to just go almost quiet, mute, like just go very checked out, gray rock, don't engage with them when they get started with the mess, or to remove yourself from the environment, to try to avoid it, even though as y'all know, they don't, if it's negative stuff, they will never forget it. Even if it's the most petty thing that they're hung up on, they're not going to forget it until they mash you up and batter you verbally and emotionally. They will not forget whatever transgression they think took place. So even if you remove yourself, if you come back, they're still going to come at you with this negativity, and they're still going to try to feed on you in that. So basically, in order to know that they're going to feed, you stay sensitive to the energy on them. Also, noticing the eyes. And what happens is it just will take one little small thing, like one small trigger or something they'll attach to that they feel like will give them the reason to start the fight. Something you say that they don't like, whatever. And the next thing you know, they are full-fledged. They're going from 0 to 1,000, probably with verbal tirade, verbal battery, probably with psychological gaslighting. Guilt tripping is a major one for them. Lots of shame and guilt. Oh my gosh, that they project. And it's all projection. They do a lot of distracting from the topic at hand. So they'll do a lot of stuff to throw you off course with what you're talking about. They'll even start bringing up old shit, like old stuff that happened that had nothing to do with the conversation at hand. And mind you, the conversation at hand is probably over some other petty mess, and the other thing that they are bringing up from the past was probably super petty and ridiculous too. So it's just over and over on a wheel of insanity with them. And this is when they're able to start to extract from you your energy. Once they get you kind of engaged, it's all about the engagement with them. So once they get you engaged, you're in, you're on the ride. And no matter how much you try to defend, deflect, push them off of you, stop them from deflecting, no matter what you try to do, it's nothing you can do. You're in. They're going to get that energy. They're going to get that supply via this engagement, this interaction. And so the best thing you can do is check yourself. Really, really grab a hold of your emotions. Go gray rock. Go flat on them. Do not engage with them once you realize what's going on, because that is when they are extracted. They're feeding, they're taking, they're pulling your life force out of you at that time. And this is one of the classics. And I've heard in my studies that though they will try to pull supply via other means, and I'll talk about that in a second, the negative interactions, the chaotic interactions that they create, the abusive scenarios, these are the ones where they're able to get the most. That's the highest quality supply for them. So, it's just, we got to face it for what it is. These are entities. They all pretty much behave in very similar fashion. They run the same lines. They are all possessed by, either the same entities or a legion of entities, whatever, demons, whatever you want to call it. So, it's you have to just recognize it for what it is, and then deal with them accordingly. Another way that they will try to extract, and I think I mentioned this early on in the video, is by setting up scenarios where they're either being self-deprecating, in order to get you to be like, no, you're amazing. No, don't say that about yourself. You're a great person, or that's one way. It's very fake. Or they are literally just doing everything they can with hopes of feeding off of you via the praise that you give them. So they're your Captain Save-A-Ho. They're trying to save you from everything. They're doing everything for you. They get mad if you try to go and have somebody else help you with something. They're the Captain Save-A-Ho. They're the ones with the super capes on and the capes, and they're coming to be your Superman or Superwoman, right? Those ones, and they do it. Why? Because this is how they can extract too. They can also, when you're lauding them with thank you and gratitude, and you are just so supportive, you're so wonderful, they're feeding. There's more feeding going on. And what's really interesting in the situations that are more chaotic is that, and I brought this up in another video, when they feed in that time, when they are there just vamping on you, as they've created all of this chaos, you have now taken on the chaos. You're now in the, you're down for the party. You're on the ride, and you're fully engaged in this. And this is when they're able to kind of push off all of their negative, dysregulated emotions onto you, and they become calm. A sense of calm comes over them. So while they're watching you scramble, while they're watching you scream, while they're watching you lose it in a fit of, reactive abuse even. So you might be responding and kind of mirroring their very negative energy, because it's so befuddling, it's so confusing dealing with them. It will make you, it's the crazy making. They make you feel insane. And so as you're going through all of your changes, emotional and physical changes and everything, feeling sick, hyperventilating, I mean, it's like the most ridiculous stuff. As you're going through all of that, a sense of peace comes over them, because this is what they wanted, this is what they love, this is how they extract, this is what they do, and then they might even tell you, oh, well, you're crazy, you're crazy, you're nuts, look at you, after they are the ones that brought the petty shit up to begin with, that, was so confusing for someone with a normal thinking and a normal social minded person, that it's like, the cognitive dissonance of trying to understand why they're so petty and so ridiculous and why they're always looking for a fight. It will throw you off so much that, so Yeah, so look out for those times when you can get a sense that something's on them. They're thrown off by something. It might be something you did. It might be just something that they experienced out in the world that day. Maybe they're stressed. Maybe work was stressful that day. Maybe something happened. They had a weird interaction with someone on the road or anything like that. And you know, when they're out in public, they are trying to kind of keep the mask on a little better, you know, because they don't really reveal just how dark and sinister they are until they're in the company of those that they quote unquote love. And so, you know, they will collect all this bad energy interacting out in the world that they are not expressing themselves, or they're not defending themselves, or they're just being, you know, as passive and vulnerable seeming as they can, and then come back to you and dump all of it on you. And this is how they work. And they will dump that on you, and they expect, you know, you to be a willing participant in accepting and also engaging with them in all of this thrashing around of stupidity. And if you don't, then you know it goes to the next levels and the next levels of ridiculousness. Then they'll probably discard you. A lot of times they'll discard you and then probably try to pick you right back up, or try to hoover you to get back in with you and come back and just do the cycle again. Come back with the love bombing, pretending like they've had an epiphany, that they're changed. I'm really changing for the better. I'm really changing. I'm improving. You know, I'm trying to do better. They're gonna come back with that. This is how these people cycle, these entities cycle. This is how they do things. And so once you become attuned to it, you know, you can get yourself free of it quick. So either the first time, wait, Dr. Ramani said they get 3 times to show that they lack empathy or about a situation, or that they just cannot communicate like a normal person. They get 3 opportunities to do that before you can go ahead and say, okay, we're dealing with a narc here, and get out of there. Okay. And when we talk about that, you know, showing empathy and showing that they actually feel empathy, we're speaking about the fact that they can actually attune to other people's feelings, that they actually wouldn't want to purposely hurt another person. And if they hurt another person, the sense of remorse and the need to apologize and to be very humble and to allow that other person that they harmed to be heard, and for them to really tune into the gravity of what they've done, that is showing empathy. And that is something narcissists will only do when they're faking, when they know. So they fake empathy, and that's a whole nother video. They fake empathy, they study other people and what empathy looks like in other people, but they don't feel empathy. They do not feel, they can't put themselves in other people's shoes. So I mean, this is a level, and this stuff is very, very prominent, you know, because of how society is set up and everything. It's particularly prominent in men, you know, who are, you know, very much in that controlling kind of energy in society. But a lot of women are actually starting to come up with these same similar traits, except from my understanding, women tend to present on the spectrum in a more vulnerable way. So they're not going to be as outright, as overt, you know, as charismatic about how they do things, but they're still manipulators and evil. So anyway, if y'all got some out of that message, please hit the like button. Please show support. Leave me a comment down below. I love reading your comments. People have been sharing with me everything they've been going through with these beings. Share with me down below and subscribe to the channel, por favor. We are looking to build up our subscriptions. We are looking to bring more interesting content to the table. This is my thing. I can ramble off about these people all day, and I have a lot of things I've covered on this channel, but this is like my passion. One, because I've always been into psychology and the study of psychology since I was a child. I do have a degree in psychology, and I didn't go as far as to get a, you know, an advanced degree in it though yet. But, you know, my background is just around health and aspects of wellness and brain rewiring and healing from trauma and all of these things, somatics. So we're going to get into it here. Okay, have a great day, y'all.